This video is brought to you by Incogni. Stick around to hear more about the special offer they're providing to the entire upper echelon community. If it sounds like I'm angry in this video, it's because I am. The shit that I went through today trying to get this all done and get this to work is kind of unreal. It involved buying a generator, the generator not working, my cell service going out, the power being out all day, all sorts of different problems. Not being able to communicate, not being able to send emails. It was just really, really horrible. But I'm here and I got the video out and I'm finally getting it done. And that's because I really wanted to warn people, and genuinely, this video might save some people from a seriously bad situation. Today is a warning. This is a warning to all YouTubers, all creators for that matter, not even just isolated to YouTube, and it's a warning they all need to hear because the newest wave of channel hijacking tactics, where they take over your channel and repurpose it or sell it or whatever it is, at least right now, are shaping up worse than ever before, and people need to know what they're up against. For starters, I have a pretty long history with this. Way back in my gaming days, a friend of the channel named Marco Style had his account stolen, which led me down a rabbit hole of investigating as the account was repurposed into a sort of crypto live stream scam. That particular version focused on XRP, also known as Ripple, by impersonating the CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, and attempting to trick viewers into sending non-refundable crypto deposits to a scammer's wallet address. Looking back, it's actually pretty basic, but since then, circumstances have changed dramatically. After the XRP version came the ARK Invest version. This one centered on an investment fund called ARK with a particular live stream and expanded the scope of its target to anyone who trades any sort of crypto at all by impersonating Cathie Wood, the CEO of ARK Invest, and Elon Musk, among others. That version hit a little bit harder than what came before, as the scammers perfected their infiltration methods and their ways of spear phishing or social engineering to get YouTubers to click the links, but the evolution of the scam was far from over. After ARK Invest came Tesla. Instead of impersonating financial firms, scammers began to hijack new channels and repurpose them into Tesla clones, running the exact same livestream scam they had before, just with new domains, names, and victims. However, today, I want to show you something that is far, far worse, and all creators need to be aware of it before it destroys their life. Everyone is obviously familiar with basic email scams. Odds are you get dozens of them per month, and half the time you don't even know it because our email clients naturally filter them. But within the confines of email scamming, there's actually a bit of a hierarchy. To demonstrate what I'm talking about, we can look at this email right here, which is supposedly from Netflix. I'm not kidding when I say I get dozens, probably more like hundreds of malicious emails per month with varying degrees of sophistication, but most of the time, they're a bad joke. This email is from replynetflix@mailbox.org, as if that's legit, and also contains a clickable link. Obviously, you never want to click that link, and the entire thing reeks of a scam from the moment it gets read. This one's very, very obvious. Your native email inbox probably blocks most of the spam that looks like this, but for the sake of demonstration, this is an example of the amateur, low-grade versions when it comes to email scamming. For the sake of being thorough, here's a couple more examples. Amazon, but it's from kpl@jamesprichardsontag.com with a false A character in the word Amazon. Obvious scam, no need to think twice. Here's another one. Amazon order, wrong email, clickable link, honestly just terrible, but keep in mind, this is a low-grade scammer, effectively scraping the bottom of the online scamming barrel. No one should be falling for this, but even if they did fall for this, it usually isn't that bad. Here's the reality. By far, the overwhelming majority of all scam emails that I get, at least the ones I've either analyzed myself or had analyzed for me, are antivirus scams. For those unfamiliar, that means you download something, click something, or otherwise allow your system to be compromised, and the way that they extract value, or basically make you pay money, is by bombarding the machine with threat detection or pop-ups, thereby pushing the user to spend money on some sort of solution to that problem, which in reality is being offered by the scammers themselves. This is incredibly common, but also fairly innocent on the spectrum of possible malware. Easy to spot, easy to fix, relatively speaking, and not too threatening. But over the past few days, I've begun to learn about something new, something far more sinister, and something as of yet apparently relatively undiscussed on YouTube that needs to be understood for the safety of all creators. Before going further, it's time for today's video sponsor, which is Incogni. The online world is a scary place. Your data is being sold by third-party brokers and accessed without your knowledge as a result of data breaches on a near constant basis. Most people may not know this, or worse yet, they don't even care, but it's actually a very big concern in the rapidly growing digital landscape. Companies hold and utilize a lot of your personal information for business purposes. It's effectively a core pillar of modern tech, if we're being honest, and this kind of data goes way beyond the individual companies you knowingly trust. There are hundreds of data brokers peddling your information to the highest bidder all the time, and it's nearly an impossible process to contact all of them, fight objections, and get your data removed. To solve this, there is Incogni. Simple process. Sign up for the website, give them specific legal permission to work on your behalf, and let them know what kind of information you'll be having removed. I have personally done this, and within minutes there were over 100 different requests being sent out to these data brokers, with follow-ups still taking place long after, confirming that my information has now been successfully removed. Keep in mind, Incogni is created by Surfshark, the same developers, another long-standing partner of the channel, which means we have a special deal as well. The first 100 people to click the link down below in the description and use code Echelon at checkout will get 20% off their subscription to Incogni. Again, link down below and promo code Echelon for the first 100 viewers who use it to get 20% off their subscription. Big thank you to Incogni for sponsoring the channel. Okay, this right here is what I'm talking about. No more beating around the bush. Now, bear with me here because the entire picture is going to take a bit of explaining. This is an email from Adobe Sign. By any realistic measurement, the email itself is real because the email actually is an Adobe Sign document. According to this, I've somehow violated copyright, and as a result, I need to sign something. Sketchy, yes, but since YouTube is plagued by copyright issues, and copyright issues can dramatically harm a channel, it sort of, in a way, demands attention from the recipient. When you realize that the sender is legit, it's a real Adobe document, and that if it was an actual copyright takedown process, or if some company was accusing me of legitimately violating copyright, my profile might have been in trouble here. Here's the thing. The email is real, the document is real, and I very much wish I had saved a copy of that document, or screen captured it at least to show you, but sadly no such luck. The document is gone now, but inside was an entirely realistic looking page about how I had used copyrighted audio tracks, claiming that there was a description of the issue with timestamps, etc. inside a zip file. That's when my alarm bells started going off hard. A zip file? Really? Why isn't this on YouTube itself? Why didn't they claim my content through existing mechanisms like the Content ID system for YouTube as a platform? And why was this being sent or done through an Adobe signing portal of all things in the first place? Why was that even part of the process? Enter a friend of mine with far more experience than me, who I sometimes hire as a consultant of sorts on cybersecurity topics. This friend, I'm going to call him Sick for right now as his moniker, is very familiar with cybersecurity, very knowledgeable on how to ascertain and mitigate online threats, as well as a multitude of other well-developed skill sets, which led me to the conclusion that if I wanted to understand more, I would need to get the zip file into his hands and let him take it from there. While doing that, however, there were a couple more things I needed to take care of. For starters, having determined that this was almost certainly malware of some kind, I decided to reach out to the music label itself, Legis Music Copyright Protection, to see what they had to say, and I have to add in here, they were fantastic about all this, opening my eyes to the fact that not only are creators being dramatically harmed by this kind of attack, but also the company being impersonated as well. I learned a number of things from my discussion on this, chief among them that the scammer had opened a fake email called uk@2feet.com using a fake credit card through Namecheap, opened through a portal called Pay with Moon. Of course it's some garbage-ass crypto thing, which was tied to a complete set of fake information, including address, country, and telephone. On top of this, I was given a list of other email addresses as well that the scammer has been using to spam people, but by and large, finding out who actually sent this seems to be nearly impossible. I've chalked it up to a dead end at this point. However, even if their delivery method was possibly airtight, I can still learn quite a bit about the malware itself and warn people, so here I am. Turns out sending the malware over to Sick for analysis was a pretty damn good thing to do, because this isn't some sort of run-of-the-mill antivirus hijacking kit. This is APT-level malware that does a lot of things if you ever let it get roots in your system. APT, also known as Advanced Persistent Threat Groups, are cyber infiltration rings at the highest level of online crime. These are groups traditionally on the level of actual nation states. And yes, I know that sounds like a plot to a bad action movie, but it's true. They can be sponsored and funded by legitimate governments, think Russia or China, or possess equivalent resources, which makes them the highest degree of threat in the entire online world, and as it stands right now, that appears to be the level of malware we are dealing with here. Here's a basic overview of what the malware is and what it does. From my limited understanding, a few things are happening here, but the gist of it is this. If you run the executable attached to this malware, it will begin by circumventing your antivirus and embedding itself in your system. Laid out as a multi-stage payload, it will force your computer to begin obeying commands from PowerShell, thereby enabling additional control for itself, and from there, it gets literally everything. We're talking bank information, browser instances, enabling attackers or hijackers to take a YouTube channel, for example, while ignoring two-factor authentication, which is puzzling to a lot of people, and anything else for that matter it can also get, because this thing is designed to dig in deep and never come out. I'm not qualified to discuss all the specifics here, but this is a serious tool with serious consequences, being sent with a self-destructing and relatively untraceable delivery method that I have confirmed is very widespread, and I confirmed this directly with the source, the company that's being impersonated. What's more, during analysis, we were in a call during this process, Sick was walking me through what it is and how it all works, we discovered that this malware will actually detect when it's being run on a virtual machine and refuse to execute, because it's been designed with anti-tampering measures. This malware is built to protect itself, quite literally, and avoid anyone attempting to reverse engineer it or disarm it, making it by far one of the most serious attack vectors I have ever seen in my time on YouTube. But wait, because there's more. It appears right now that this malware is part of the more_eggs family and is currently undetectable to the likes of AVG, McAfee, or Malwarebytes. What does that mean? Simple. It means that the programs most of us use to protect ourselves don't even work, making it so that the only thing between you and total disaster is a couple of mouse clicks, which are being enticed through deliberate and highly sophisticated social engineering directly aimed at creators. I'll spare everyone the tedium of listening to much more of my analysis here, because again, I'm not qualified in this category, hence my decision to bring on a dedicated expert lately for this kind of topic. But this malware also appears to contain signed certificates from Rockstar Games, the creators of GTA 5. This could be due to a number of different reasons, such as the usage of signed certificates to circumvent antivirus in some way, or it could be that the malware was improperly fused to a copy of GTA 5 sometime in the past. I'm not even sure if this was being sent from an already compromised machine that had then been tasked with further spreading the program. But the gist of it is that this is incredibly dangerous software that is now being turned on creators by impersonating, right now, a music brand, and in an untraceable way it seems, and pushing out Adobe Sign documents. If this really is a modified version of the original More Eggs malware program, that would make it a tool associated with Fin6, which is an advanced persistent threat group who has successfully targeted pharmaceutical companies, financial institutions, retail and entertainment corporations, among others, using sophisticated malware just like this that has now been turned, by who exactly we likely will never know, on the world of YouTube. All creators need to be hyper aware of what this is and understand exactly how to protect themselves. I'm not going to sit here and tell you to go buy a new antivirus program or something like that, but be aware that only about 1 in 6 antivirus options will even detect this level of threat. The delivery method is a legitimately emailed Adobe Sign document, which means you can't just check the header data and see things that are wrong because it's a real email with a real document. And this is all designed to alleviate suspicion by the recipient, social engineering. And this delivery method will self-destruct fairly quickly after it shows up. In fact, I think I got this one twice before I actually made a move and decided to look into it. Inside is malware on the level of life-altering disaster should you be tricked into running it, which is complete with anti-tampering protocols, thereby refusing to even run itself on a virtual machine. And right now, as I make this video, it is apparently being sent, shotgun style, to YouTubers far and wide, impersonating a music label on the basis of copyright. Don't fall for it. Some people will, and it will be devastating, but if I can warn even just 1 or 2 people not to fall for this scam, it's going to be kind of a big deal. All of this is tied back into the topic of malware as a service, or MAAS. I covered it once before, I'll probably do it again, but this has been eye-opening as an experience for me, seeing just how dangerous the malware is, how thorough these attackers are when it comes to delivering the payload, and realizing just how vulnerable most YouTubers are, as a result of complacency and comfort. I don't normally ask for this, but I've had a hell of a day, and I won't ask for it again, at least not for a very long time. But please do, all of you that are listening to this, share this with other YouTubers. Falling for a low-grade antivirus scam is one thing, but falling for this can have life-altering consequences like identity theft, loss of financial control, and more. This is highly sophisticated, highly dangerous, and it comes from the apex tier of digital criminal, making it one of the most sincere warnings that I have ever had to issue, and I truly hope that people will listen. Honestly, the standard advice still rings true. Never open anything you don't trust, but also start to trust things less. We live in an online world where danger lurks around every single corner, and a lot of us just don't properly understand that, myself included, hence why I'm thrilled to have established a working relationship with Sick, who can help me with this kind of topic and consult with me about cybersecurity. Please, everyone, be very careful. That's it. If you want to support, there are links down below. It's been just a heck of a day. I really needed to keep this brief. Primarily locals and Patreon, also merch, social media, the video sponsor, of course, Incogni, etc., but I'll cut it there and stop rambling. I need a break. It's been a series of hurdles, let's put it that way, like one disaster after another today, but I really wanted to get this out there because, again, if any YouTubers are like hijacked by this, I mean, this is far-reaching consequences. So if I can save a few people from maybe clicking some copyright Adobe Sign document and having their entire life turned upside down, definitely worth it. Thank you all for watching. Have a nice night.